18 months ago, maybe 20 months ago now, in Boca Raton, Florida, two young guys approached me that were in the mortgage industry and asked about attending some of our events. I was happy to have them there. I'm thrilled when somebody that is not a real estate broker agent wants to attend to learn what we do. A month or so later, they said, can we get together and talk? Fine. So we talked, and they told me about what they were doing as a company. And I have to tell you, I'm very rarely overly excited about the outside services that come into us. I'm very rarely overly excited about the mortgage, the title, the escrow, and all those great services we need. But these two guys were very persistent salespeople, and they really got me excited, which led us to the fact that we now actually have, on a national level, a relationship with a company called Finance of America. And I invited the young guy that brought this idea to me, and I want to spend 10, 12, 14, 15 minutes with him today, because he brings such an interesting perspective. And I'm going to tell you, I want you to listen, because his perspective on us, Josh, is very interesting and different than what we would hear normally. So let's welcome to the stage, probably one of the better guys that I've ever met in the industry, Mr. Matt Weaver. Matt, if you would, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. Have a chair. Okay.
This is from Sabrina.
Thank you. Okay, now, big round of applause. Come on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Sit down. So I had Matthew and I had Avi, his partner, at our management retreat last year in, I think it was Naples.
In Naples.
Make a little presentation. And what's interesting is it was to the brokers. The response was overwhelming, okay? Watch, this is a mortgage guy. That is a high analytical business. It is a detail-oriented business. It's a cash-driven business. It's a money business. It's not an emotional business. It's a logic business. Facts and figures and details help him make decisions. And then you screwed up the whole industry because you're a sales guy. And that is so unusual in our industry. So, we wrote down a couple questions. And the first thing I wrote down is, can you give us just real quickly a little background on the relationship between the 4 mortgage companies that are part of Finance of America and Blackstone? What is that all about?
Well, absolutely, Mike. And before I get started, can I share a thought with the audience that I
Please.
had recently? So, first and foremost, thank you so much again. And, it's interesting because I was thinking about it last night on just how powerful of a room we have here in front of us today.
We do.
And when you think about it, it's so powerful that I could actually say the statement of, everyone in this room will have a profound effect on the world's largest economy over the next 12 months.
Say that again.
Everyone in this room will have a profound effect over the world's largest economy in the next 12 months.
That's true. That's true. That's a great way to look at it.
And I can actually say that this effect will be to the tune of billions. Sounds crazy, right? Let's think about this for a second. Let's crunch some numbers. I think you analytics out there are going to love this, okay?
And
so,
coming from an analytic, right?
Show of hands. How many agents in the room plan on selling at least 1 million in real estate sales over the next 12 months?
1 million in volume.
1 million in volume.
Which now, that could be any place from a $100,000 condo to one property at $1 million.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, that's fantastic. So for those that raised your hand, I'm sure that's the starting point. And for those that didn't raise your hand, I'm sure Mike Ferry will help you get to those numbers. But let's average out the room for just a moment.
Okay.
So everyone in the room sells 1 million in real estate. There's 4,000 agents in this room, which equals $4 billion in sales over the next year.
$4 billion in actual sales.
But that's not the whole story. The National Association of Realtors goes on to claim that for every $1 in real estate sales, adds $1.62 in economic activity. Folks, that's over six.
What does that mean?
That means that is over $6.5 billion that you all are adding to the gross domestic product, the GDP. So I say we all stand up and give ourselves a round of applause.
That is great.
Fantastic. That's fantastic.
I love that. That is great. Now, see, I told you, he just goes back and forth between being this high analytical driven mortgage guy to a sales guy like he just demonstrated.
Versatility.
I think that's why we happen to get along so well. But help me understand that. okay, because I'm not as analytical, obviously, as you are. You should not be leaving the room at this moment. Because, see, as soon as we stood up, they took off again, okay? So if we're going to be responsible for $4 billion of sales over the next 12 months, and did you say that NAR'S says for every $1 spent on a real estate transaction, $1.62 is spent outside of that transaction?
Outside of that transaction, that's correct, Mike.
So that means it's really $10 billion.
Roughly, and it can climb even further.
And it could go further depending on how much they do.
Absolutely.
I have always said, Matt, and I think you and I and Avi talked about this, I don't think at times we understand that we are the U.S. and Canadian economy sitting in this room. We are the heartbeat of the economy, period. Okay?
That's right.
No doubt about it, okay? Because, as you know better than anybody, the U.S. economy is 100% dependent upon what happens in real estate.
Yes.
As we experienced in 2006, 2007, 2008, because of the poor judgment we all used in 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005. So thank you. I thought that was a great example you just gave. It wasn't in the notes, and that's why I liked it so much, okay? So, Blackstone Finance America. Just
Correct.
give me what is that all about?
Okay, so Finance of America actually just celebrated its 1-year anniversary. Now, the name is new, but the company isn't new. It purchased over 4 large companies across the nation, which now comprises of us being ranked the top 7th largest mortgage provider in the country. With that said, we have an aggressive plan to be the #1 provider over the next 24 to 36 months. But make no mistake that we have a firm understanding that that will not happen unless we serve you the right way, as you are our bloodline. We have 350 branches, over 1,500 loan originators. And it's important to know that our loan originators' experience level far supersedes the norm. To be a part of Finance of America, you really have to have your own book of business. We're not a lead generation company. We serve the real estate community. We are a realtor-centric model, so we understand your sales cycle.
You always say that. What the hell does that mean?
That's correct, Mike. What I've done is...
You said I'm a realtor-centric company.
A realtor-centric company.
That's an analytical expression that means nothing to me. So explain that.
That's our model. So really, I've taken the mortgage industry and divided it into 2. You have a realtor-centric model, and you have a consumer-centric model. The realtor-centric model is what Finance of America is. In other words, without you, we don't survive, simply put. We are here to serve you. You are our client, period. And with that said, that's why our processes, our systems are wrapped around your sales cycle from totality, from beginning to end. A consumer-centric model simply has a lot of national branding, advertises fast online approvals without any documentation being reviewed. I quite frankly think that you deserve more, the client deserves more, and needs that human touch and heavy experience. We don't have retail banking channels that are all throughout the country where you can just walk into. We have multiple verticals of business. Our vertical of business is one source of business, which is residential mortgage lending designed to serve the realtor community and their clients.
But yet, a portion, and I saw the report on the company for last month, you guys did like 6,000 actual loan transactions last month, or 5,980, but part of those are refinance.
Correct.
So where do they come from if you're not marketing directly to the public? Because you don't.
Well, from our current database and our past clientele, Finance of America is about 80% purchase and 20% refinance business.
You know, do you understand purchase? You sell a house, so your buyer needs a new loan. That's what they refer to as a purchase transaction.
Correct. The industry standard is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of around 70% refinance business and 30% purchase business.
70% refinance is the standard?
Correct. Correct.
And you're 80% purchase and 20% refinance?
Correct.
How does that help them?
Well, it goes to show you that really our bloodline is you, and this is who we serve. And it's important to know that because when you think about it, you have an organization that is really poised and positioned to be the #1 provider in the country, waking up continuously thinking about how do we add more value to you? How do we increase your sales, productivity, and efficiency? You know, about a year ago, we had the idea of partnering with the #1 real estate coach in the world, really for a couple key pieces. Number one, we can spread Mike's teachings and philosophies to our current realtor database. And if they learn that one extra thing, that one extra piece that gets them that one extra listing, maybe we added value in another way. Because I think we can all agree that most mortgage lenders are solely focused on your buy-side business. What we understand is that the route to a successful agent is an agent that gets more listings. So what did we do? We partnered with the #1 real estate coach in the world that trains on listings. We opened a prospecting school in Boca Raton to service that eastern seaboard.
Which has been phenomenal.
Thank you.
It is. I mean, we have a great prospecting school. They really have a better one for us, okay?
Thank you.
So now our clients, instead of traveling from New York to Las Vegas, they travel from New York or Charlotte right to Boca. And let me tell you something. We are learning a lot on how we should run our prospecting schools in their office because of how they run our prospecting schools in their office. You've taught us a lot, and I appreciate that a lot. I've never said that publicly, but you're making a big difference in how we run our company as you operate part of our company for us. Thank you for that.
Well, thank you. And also a big difference because it's adding value back to your current clientele base. And we've had the good fortune of
okay, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It comes down to the interest rate.
It comes down, okay. So with the you got me. But with the Blackstone backing, our pricing is second to none, and you all can have confidence in knowing that.
How big are they?
Blackstone is the largest private equity firm in the world.
I'm sorry?
The largest private equity firm in the world.
Okay, tell them what private equity means.
So private equity would be a hedge fund, for better lack of words. It's a large company that essentially owns a lot of companies across the United States and now globally. What does that mean to you? So of course
they own thousands of homes, and they own buildings and shopping centers. I mean, they're rich.
They're the largest landlord in the country. That's correct, to date.
I mean, somebody said they own like 70 or 80,000 residential homes.
Correct. Definitely over 50,000 is the number.
I mean, that's a lot of houses.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do they own all that property?
Well, you know, they're pretty smart, and they get into the industry at the right time. I'm sure they're going to be unloading a lot of their portfolio in the coming years. With having this Blackstone backing, what it has enabled us to do, it's enabling us to bring product to the marketplace that the market doesn't have. I'll give you an example. We just recently rolled out on the East Coast, which is going to be coming and making its way to the West Coast, an investor product, a product to where personal income is not needed whatsoever, and it goes solely off the income of the rental property. So I think we can all agree that investors, thank you.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Okay, that's good.
I think we can agree that investors had limited options. It was either cash or hard money. This fits squarely right in the middle, and it has opened our realtor partners and their investor clients to an entirely different market.
When I met you and Avi 18 months ago, I can't remember where we even met. I don't know where it happened, but we were down in southern Florida. And I was attracted to the two of you for their business, just in case you get carried away. Okay. He's such a bitch. Okay, I mean, and Avi's the bitchette. I'm just kidding. You guys are so professional, and you're so, I think what turned the tide for Samir and I, you're so believable because you believe so much in what you're saying. So I have to then, it's not one of the questions we had agreed on. There must be, what, 20, 30,000 mortgage companies in the United States, Canada today?
Oh, there's of course no shortage of competition, but we really don't look at them as competition. The question becomes, how much of the business do we want to let them have?
Say that again.
And the question becomes,
how much business?
That's right. You know, for us, similar to your philosophy, Mike, you know, we can go really, really wide, or we can go a little bit more narrow and deep. And I've had a wonderful experience spending some time with you on Monday. And Mike said something that I'll always hold near and dear, which was, he said to me that he didn't want to be the largest real estate coaching company. What
Never
he wanted
had that
to be,
desire.
He wanted to be the best. And the truth of the matter is that that's where we stand. We want to work with agents such as yourselves. I mean, we've now been, you know, we've had this relationship for about a year now. And I got to tell you, the difference in real estate agent, that's a Mike Ferry real estate agent, is unbelievable. And I'm not just saying that because I'm sitting here in front of you folks. You know, we have the prospecting school. We see you coming in at 7 in the morning with your boards and your scripts, and it's so motivating and empowering to our people. You're role playing at 8 o'clock. You don't eat turkey for lunch because you'll fall asleep. It is fascinating. And so we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We understand that it's going to take some time to earn your trust, your confidence. But think about it this way. What's the best way of understanding how we can bridge that gap between today and getting a transaction from you. Well, look who we have to answer to, for God's sake. I mean, is that the best right here? So we understand that it'll take some time. We look forward to any opportunity. Please come see us in the back, schedule an appointment with us.
Now, you're doing something which is kind of fun.
Yes.
If you go back to their booth, they have 3 iPads. And what they're going to ask anybody and everybody to do is go back, introduce yourself, meet some of the team. And then they're going to say, we would like to schedule probably 10 or 15-minute appointment. And they'll schedule it right here, no matter where you are in the United States. An appointment to call you and give you a little bit of an evaluation of what they do in relationship to your business. I think it's really an interesting approach. Are you scheduling many appointments?
Yes, I mean, several hundreds at this point. The goal to the call is for us to take about 18 minutes and to really learn more about you, the market you serve, and how we can best support you. You know, we really want to learn how can we support you and increase your sales, productivity, and efficiency through our systems. Then the latter part of the call is really our process flow and how to best leverage it within your current clientele.
So it's always going to be about getting a deal closed. It's always going to be about the service. It's always going to be about a fair financial plan for the buyer. But the truth is, it's really about whether you can do it at a little higher level than maybe somebody else.
That's correct. So one of the biggest differentiators with Finance of America is what's called Decentralized Operations, which means this. You know, if we're going to serve you as agents, how could we possibly not have the entire loan process happen within the branch that you're rendering services from? So each office, each branch, from beginning to end, the process happens within that local branch, which gives us maximum control. What does that do? That allows us to turn around loan commitments that are faster than anyone in the industry. I think we can all agree that we're still in a multiple offer environment. So if we can cut your loan commitments down to 10 days or 7 days, and you can present that in your offer, you know, we've rolled that out about 6 years ago at our branch, and our agents have been leveraging a 7-day loan commitment for years. They've been getting their contracts executed over competing over 90% of the time. We measured those results. We can close transactions in less than 24 days. So if we learn more about each other and how to best leverage our process, I think we can all be very successful.
Well, first of all, it's been it's been fun. We've had a lot of time together in our first year, you and I and Avi and Sabrina. We've got to meet a lot of the key players in the company. I mean, some of the really interesting people. And we've now been doing it for a year, and I think you and I both see that the benefits to you and I are very strong, but the most important benefit is to them. And I think as long as you and I remain committed to them, then what we're doing should work.
That's right.
Good. Well, thank you.
Thank you,
We appreciate it a lot. Thank you. Okay? Really nice of you. Appreciate it a lot. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. You're very kind. Okay?